very sunny but cold morning. We are thrilled to be joined by Kelly Castle from Essex Women. Kelly, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's sunny, which is lovely.
Don't be fooled by it. I took the dog out earlier on. It does look nice, but as soon as you go in the shade or the sun goes in, the temperature drops by about 50 degrees. So
Oh, gosh.
don't go out in a t-shirt like I did. So what are you up to today? Have you got any training or anything planned?
No, actually, today is my day off. I've been training sort of all week, or trained Tuesday and yesterday, and then day off today, and then playing at the weekend. So just sort of getting ready to do that.
And that's going for Essex the weekend, is it?
Yeah, we've got a 50 over game tomorrow against Kent in our London Championship, new sort of competition. And then Bank Holiday Monday, we've got T20s against Surrey.
T20s are thick and fast for the girls at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, so the ECB has sort of changed our competition around, and so to sort of accommodate for all the regional stuff coming in, all of our county T20s are sort of one after the other every weekend at the minute. So yeah.
And the ECB have changed the sort of women's county setup as well, or are they trying to change it? I can't keep up with some of this stuff. Did they try and change it and then went back on that? Was that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't keep up with it either. But I think last year or the year before, I think they were going to sort of scrap county cricket, and I think there was sort of a lot of people up in arms about it, and sort of people want to understand the importance of county cricket. So they ended up keeping the T20 competition. We used to have a 50 over competition as well, and then they ended up just keeping the T20. So then our London Championship that the counties have created is just sort of to carry on a separate competition from the ECB to carry on players being able to play 50 over cricket, which again, county cricket has then made way for the new regional setup as well. So that's come into place.
Girls cricket and women's cricket is massively on the up. Even just in the last 5 years, been an incredible surge in interest. What do you put that down to from your personal experience?
I think probably people being more aware of the game. I think the World Cup final back at Lords in 2017, was it, I think? That was, I think, just such a turning point for the game, because for a women's cricket match to sell out Lords was incredible. And I remember being there, and the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. And I think that was probably sort of the catalyst for women's cricket to grow. And I think also just looking at other countries and how somewhere like Australia and how big cricket is over there, and everyone sort of wanting to be a part of that and help grow the game. I think there's a lot being done at the top level, and it's also started to filter down through the grassroots cricket. There's so many programs out there for girls to get involved, that then they can look up to the top level and have these role models to look at. And I think that's probably the key for the growth in the game.
The 100 is going to be huge for women's cricket, isn't it?
Oh, massively. I think obviously there's so many different opinions on it, but to grow the game, I think is going to be incredible, with the first match being a women's match. The first time in history for that to be done, I think, is incredible. And I think that competition's only going to increase the standard of cricket and increase the amount of girls in the game, because there's going to be so many role models for them to look at. They don't have to just look at international players. There's going to be so many local players who may have started their cricket at their cricket club, these girls' cricket clubs. So I think that competition is going to be such an important competition, again, to keep growing the game and get people involved.
Yeah, and we reported on the show last week that that first game went down to the final ball as well, so it couldn't have been a better advert for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about your involvement with cricket. How did it start, and where were you playing?
So I had a bit of a different, compared to sort of your generic, a lot of the girls I know who got into cricket, but my family are not a cricketing family. So I didn't get involved because my dad or my brother or anything like that, or my mum. But I started when I was in primary school, and it was because I had an Australian primary school teacher, and he loved cricket, brought cricket over, and he wanted to bring it into the school. And we had a girls team and we had a mixed team, and the mixed team were rubbish. Like we were really bad. But the girls team, we ended up going. It was like back when it was sort of quick cricket, and we went all the way through to the national finals and went up to Headingley. I think we ended up coming third. So
Wow.
for us, sort of like a tiny little school, to go and do that was incredible. And that's how I got involved.
What school was that?
Holt Farm Junior School. I live sort of like in Rochford, so sort of like near Southend, down that way. So yeah, that's how I got involved, and then sort of went and joined my cricket club, which is Rayleigh Cricket Club, and I'm still there now. Like it's sort of a place where like I'll never leave, because it's sort of where I started. And then managed to. It's actually whenever I tell this story about how I got involved, is my first year of going to county trials, I didn't get in. I got into like a summer squad, which basically meant like try again next year. Like you're sort of on the waiting list. So I never got in, and then after that, the following year, I managed to get into the under-13 squad, and then since then, I just sort of look back to not getting into now, sort of being a professional cricketer and captain in Essex is sort of a massive journey for me, and quite nice to look back on as well.
Long way that you've come in such a short period of time, and as you just sort of mentioned, you're a pro now with Essex, but also with the Sunrisers. I'm really interested in this 100, and I think, as Webby said, it's a massive opportunity for women's cricket, and I think it will put women's cricket really front and centre. How do you feel being a pro? What are the pros and cons, literally?
Yeah, look, for me, it's just a dream to be able to say that something was my hobby, or my hobby is now my job, and I just get to turn up every day and do something that I love. And I talk a lot about sometimes that you go into jobs and you don't enjoy it, but most of the time you want to enjoy your job because you're going to be doing that every day. And for me, I feel so lucky to be able to do that. And it's just good fun. It's tiring. That's probably the con, is that especially going from doing like last year of doing nothing, even with COVID, of you're not able to train or do anything, to then have a winter. Fortunately, we were able to train throughout the winter, of training 3-4 times a week. So yeah, going from nothing to then really full on, that is tiring, but it's so rewarding, and I just can't wait for the season to really get going, and for the whole of our team as well to just put out there on the field what we've been practicing throughout the winter.
Cricketers are notoriously disorganised, messy. I want you to throw someone under the bus, or people under the bus. Who amongst your teammates at county or whatever level, who are the ones that are the messiest in the dressing rooms, the ones that are always just dishevelled, disorganised, complete nightmares?
I would say at Sunrisers, Amara Carr, purely because she's a wicket keeper and she has so much stuff, and it's usually here, there and everywhere.
And they're all nutters anyway, wicket keepers.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So I'd probably say she's the first person that came to my head. Yeah, probably her. She's the most messiest.
And what would she say about you?
Well, in fairness, she'd probably say the same about me, is that I'm probably the messiest as well. The thing is, with the game these days, is that we have such big bags because we have so much kit. There's so many people who they've got like 2, 3, 4 bats, and it's such a pain of just constantly having to pack your bag. So I would say, yeah, probably everyone's near enough on the same level of messy, but I'm still sticking with Amara Carr. She's definitely the messiest.
I did read something that Ravi Bopara, when they went to the T20 final with Essex at Edgbaston in 2019, took 65 bats with him.
Really?
I can't believe that that's true, but if it is, I mean, 65 for a day's cricket.
Yeah, Gosh, imagine that. That is a lot of bats. How would you decide? How would you know which one you want to use?
God knows. You wouldn't want to be the person in the dressing room when he's waving from the pitch, new bat.
Yeah, needs a new bat, and he runs out. Which ones do you take? How many hands you got?
And from a personal point of view, I'm really pleased that Sunrisers are training over at Billericay these days, and we've even fitted out a new gym, and there's all kinds of upgraded facilities. So we're really pleased. Are you enjoying coming over to the Lords of Essex?
Yeah, I mean, for me, compared to everyone else in the team, it's only half an hour down the road for me, so I'm loving it. But yeah, I love anywhere. Training in Essex for me is the best because it's my home. And Billericay, with Essex and everything, we've played there for a few years. So to be able to train there, the facilities are great, and the fact that we've now got a gym in there as well is really, really great. But yeah, I'm a big fan of training at Billericay. That's sort of probably my go-to ground in Essex as well.
Very, very good to hear that. I had to ask that question because I've got someone that pinged me, I won't say who, that said, make sure you get that one in.
Yeah.
What are your ambitions then we're kind of eking back to some kind of something resembling normality. I know COVID is still a big shadow that hangs over everything. What are your hopes and dreams for 2021?
For me, just to in terms of cricket, just put in the hard work that I've done throughout the winter, and just enjoy it and make some performances, because if you're not enjoying cricket or anything, then sort of what's the point in doing it, really, because that's what you're there for. But for me, hopefully be a part of the 100 stuff, but I think just focus on playing hopefully somewhat of a normal season, and just enjoying it.
Now, away from cricket, what do you do? I know cricket takes up a lot of your time, but you need to do something. Everyone needs to do something away from their day job. What do you like doing away from cricket?
Well, actually, at the minute, I'm currently doing a master's, which that's all been online. So that's sort of taking up my other half of my time that I've got. I'm doing a master's in sports science. And then other than that, my favourite things to do is probably generic answer is having coffee, because that is 100% my favourite thing to do. Just finding any coffee shop that I possibly can. I was in Billericay High Street yesterday, actually, and they've got some very good coffee shops down there. So I'm venturing out to find the best coffee shops that there are.
Have you got a go-to coffee?
You can call it a coffee if you want, but it's probably a poor man's coffee. I have a mocha. That is my go-to of a mocha. Obviously, it's got chocolate in, so poor man's coffee. But I could probably tell you where you can get the best mochas from. I would say I'm a bit of a connoisseur in that.
There's a coffee shop in Shenfield now, I can tell you, that was a hairdresser's, and you can still get your hair cut while you're having a coffee. It's a proper coffee shop that you can get your hair cut as well.
What is it with cricketers and coffee? I mean, we had Adam Zampa on, and he's obsessed
with it, isn't he? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we just spend too much time the amount of rain delays that there ever are, you're always either having tea or coffee. And it's just, it's a good pastime, isn't it? But as I was going to say, it's a generic answer. Every cricketer that I know either has their own proper coffee machine or goes out and gets coffee. That's always the thing. That's what we've missed throughout lockdown, and when we've been able to train. Obviously, we can't go out and get coffee together after training or anything. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to throughout the summer.
In the dressing room, is anyone in charge of the music? Do you have anyone that, or do you take it in turns? We've had this. Music is a big part of our show. And we found out, talking to various people, about dressing room antics and music. What's the score from Essex and Sunrisers?
Yeah, so we've got one of our girls at Sunrisers. She's in charge of music. She's only Grace Scriven. She's only 17, and she's currently in charge of the music. And I can tell you that anything and everything comes on. Which I was very surprised about, but I'm talking about, like, sometimes you'll have maybe like YMCA or the Macarena, and then the next day you'll have
Macarena.
something by Eminem or something. Like it's very, very eclectic. Like it's anything and anything will come on, which I was very surprised about considering she's only 17.
Have you got a victory tune?
No, not really.
They still have walk-on music in the T20.
I don't know actually. I don't know. That's interesting. We do always talk about like if you could pick any song, what would you go out to? But I feel like my song changes all the time. But I don't know. Don't know what it would be now. It changes a lot.
What ones have you had in the past?
I can't even think off the top of my head what they were. Yeah, I can't even think what they were. What would you guys have? What would you have if you could pick any song? What would you have?
Here Comes the Hot Stepper.
Yeah.
With the crowd chanting "murderer" at the right point.
Yeah.
It's tough, isn't it? Because you want to kind of get that inspiration into you, and you want to feel excited about you going out to bat and come on, here
exactly.
I am. But you don't want anything that the bowler is just going to go, yeah, right, here we go.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a really hard one, isn't it?
Well, we'll be after you for some musical requests, which you can give to us later, unless anything's springing off the top of your head. But we do ask all of our guests to come up with something musical, and it's always good as well. It's always good. Our hot one at the moment is Chris Gale. I don't know if you've heard it, but he's released a record with an Indian rap star, which is a very clever move on Mr. Gale's part. But it's called From Jamaica to India. I suggest you check it out.
Yeah.
It's had 2 million hits on YouTube already.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
He
does everything.
Music.
Yeah. Yeah, he does everything, doesn't he? Wow, to release a song, I'm going to listen to that.
Did you have any cricketing heroes growing up, or even now? Who do you look up to?
So when I was growing up, sort of in the women's game, it still probably is now. But Catherine Brunt, she's always been, because she's just played for so many years, and she's sort of from the start of women's cricket to them now and seeing the growth. And she's probably been my main one. Probably in the men's game, Alistair Cook always springs to mind, just because he's just an absolute legend, really, isn't he? Like, you can't get any better than him, I don't think. So, probably those two would be my main heroes.
Being captain, do you have to adopt a completely different persona to when you were being one of the girls as part of the team, or what do you think the role of captain brings to your game? Yeah,
I'd say I try and be I want to be a part of the team, and being captain, I take it as I want to lead from the front. So I always think if I'm performing at my best, or even if I'm not performing at my best, if I can still lead the team in some type of way, with either attitude or just going around and talking to everyone, then that's sort of my main goal as captain. But I try and just not think about it as well, is that sometimes I think, captains can be quite scary. I know when I was growing up, like some of the captains that I played with, you never really wanted to talk to them because you were either too scared or you didn't want to say anything wrong or anything. So for me, I just try and just be myself and be a part of the team, because I think that's probably the best way to be. I'd say definitely one thing from this winter and being a professional cricketer is the amount of knowledge that I've gained from it. I think last week when I played my first county game this year, I didn't know how much knowledge that I'd gained from the winter, and a lot of the other girls who aren't involved in Sunriser stuff or again haven't had training this year because of COVID. I think one thing that we talk about at the minute is you don't know what you don't know, and that's very, very true. And that this time last year I didn't know anything really, versus the amount of knowledge and info that I've sort of gained from being a professional cricketer. So that's definitely something that I've gained this year.
I guess with COVID, one of the perks of being a top level cricketer is travelling. Have you done much international travel as yet? I know the circumstances are difficult, but have you been and played abroad?
Yeah, obviously this year I haven't. My plan for prior to COVID was to go away last winter, but obviously couldn't. I was going to go over to Australia, but obviously COVID happened, so couldn't. But yeah, previously I have been, a couple of years ago, I spent a winter in Australia in Melbourne playing out there. And then at county stuff, sort of through the age groups, we were quite fortunate in that we had 2 tours to Dubai and played a competition out there, which was cool because it was a lot of counties from here went over and played the competition, but then they had, I think we played against the women's UAE team as well, their national team, which was pretty cool, and played at some pretty amazing grounds out there as well. I think it's called the massive one in Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Zayed, I think it's called. A couple of places I've been to, but hopefully next year or next winter, if I can get out to Australia and play out there.
Final random question from me. We know you like coffee. What is your favourite food? If you're going out for a meal and you can go wherever you want and have whatever you want, what's your favourite?
Oh, that's a great question. Do you know what? This question's come up recently, and I would say if I'm going out to dinner, I would say pizza is probably up there because I feel like you can't really go wrong with it. You know, there's other things that you can, but pizza's probably my go-to.
And you put pineapple on it, then you've ruined it.
Oh yeah, no, don't put pineapple on pizza. Definitely don't do that. Yeah, you can ruin it with putting pineapple on, but other than that, if you don't do that, you can't really ruin it. So I think probably pizza would be my go-to.
Have you been out at all since restrictions were eased?
No, a couple of my mates have said we've tried to organise sort of going to the local pub, but haven't managed to get round in time to do it yet. But that's on the list to do so. It's also been cold in the evenings as well, so I don't really fancy.
Pretty chilly down in Rochford.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really fancy sitting in the cold, but hopefully that'll be soon.
I was going to ask what the trophy is behind you.
Oh, this is. No, I think last year I managed to get women's player. I think it might be the year before now. Women's Player of the Year for Essex. So I went to a big presentation. Yeah, pre-COVID actually it was, and it was actually the year that Essex won their county championship and the T20. I went to their presentation and it was incredible. Like, there was a lot of alcohol, but it was probably one of the best nights I've ever had. So, yeah.
Yeah, drinking alcohol in a tent on a field.
In a tent, exactly.
Yeah.
With Alistair Cook next to me, Simon Harmer the other side. So yeah.
Both of those are rubbish drinkers. I don't care what anyone says. Right, Kelly, we'll wrap it up there. Brilliant talking to you, and many thanks for giving up your time. And all the best, and look forward to seeing you on the pitch.
Cheers, thank you.